Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. So Antonio Conte is going to be the next manager of Spurs. He is in advanced talks according to Fabrizio Romano, and Operation Spurs takes another turn. And I've got to say, look, I know I was joking on social media earlier saying that Spurs are, they're like a bag of cement in a running race. They can't win anything. But they do try, and they are trying. And if at first you don't succeed, keep trying. And Spurs definitely do that. Mourinho didn't work out, but he was a serial winner. He couldn't even win a packet of Rice Krispies at the moment as a serial winner, but he used to win trophies. And Conte did win the title with Chelsea, didn't he? Yeah, he did. He did win the title with Chelsea, Conte. And he has won the title at Inter. I think that I can't knock Spurs doing this deal for Conte. I really can't. I think he fits Spurs quite well, and I think that the added, is it Patrici that they're going to bring in as the director of football from Juventus? Now, many people might not know a lot about director of footballs, but being a Man United fan, you get to know about directors of football. We'd have loved to brought this guy in. So I think that, look, it doesn't mean Spurs are going to win anything. It really doesn't, but it shows an ambition to do that. And this could have a very big knock-on effect on Harry Kane, because I think if you appoint Eddie Howe or Scott Parker, Harry Kane probably goes, you know what, I don't want another project that's not going to work with a manager that's not good enough. But if you bring in Antonio Conte, there's many United fans that would love Conte. There's many an Arsenal fan that would want Conte. He's a top-level manager. And he's shown that in the Premier League and in the Serie A. And I think he wants to come back to the Premier League. I think London will suit him. And I think at Spurs, look, it could go the same way as Mourinho. When Spurs got Mourinho in, I said, I don't think this is going to work. And I know a lot of Spurs fans got excited, but as a United fan who'd seen Mourinho and seen that he wasn't the power he used to be, I didn't think Mourinho at Spurs was going to work. But Conte at Spurs, with that director of football, that's an interesting dynamic. There's not many clubs that appoint a manager and then bring a director of footballer in at the same time. And I think that is an insight into what Spurs are looking to do here, because my recollection of the All or Nothing series that Spurs did with Mourinho is that Daniel Levy was very much involved in transfers. So if you're going to bring a director of football in to professionalise that, and I don't think Spurs have a director of football, so that might be a new thing for Spurs as well as a manager. And, Conte obviously likes that sort of relationship. I want to coach, these are the players I want, there's my director of football. Maybe that's part of the package that Conte wants, and maybe this is part of the reform for Spurs. And I'm not saying Spurs are going to be a top four side next year. And I think being a top four side for Spurs for next year will be very hard. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, probably United. It's hard to break into that top four. But look, many a United fan thinks that United are vulnerable with Ollie in charge. Maybe it's an opportunity for Spurs. And if they can keep Harry Kane, and they're obviously going to keep Son, and they do have other good players, and you bring in a coach like Conte, who is almost, I think Conte is almost the hybrid Mourinho in the modern game. Mourinho in the modern game doesn't work. 10 years ago he did. But I think Conte in the modern game is the manager that can be successful in the modern game whilst being defensively well set up, but also scoring goals as well. So I think Conte suits Spurs better than Mourinho did. In the modern game, he's a good coach. He's won Serie A with Inter, which is an achievement considering how dominant Juventus have been. And he has got Premier League experience. So it's a tick, tick, tick for Spurs. And I think for Spurs, especially when you might have been looking at an Eddie Howe or someone like that, to go and get a top level coach. And as I said, there's a lot of top clubs that would like Conte. He's not a risk because you're not bringing him over like you did with Sarri, even though that worked for Chelsea. Well, no, Spurs didn't do it. Chelsea did it. But you know what I mean? You're bringing an Italian coach into the Premier League who's never managed here before. There's a bit of a risk. You are bringing an Italian coach from Serie A who's been successful, but he's also managed in the Premier League. So he knows the league. He's been successful. He's a top coach. I think it's a great move for Spurs if they can get it over the line. And I think the director of football thing is very interesting because those discussions won't just be about a manager. It'll be about signings. It'll be about the future planning. And I think that is a really exciting dynamic. And I've never really heard of it done before. I certainly think if Solskjaer got sacked and we brought in a new manager and a director of football with them, I'd be more excited than just bringing in a manager on their own. I think it's a big statement. And I've got to say, as a non-Spurs fan, and I'm sure Liverpool fans and Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans, we can laugh at Spurs not winning trophies, but I can only admire what they're doing here. And I think it's all right, they can be bantered, they don't win trophies. As I said earlier, Harry Potter's won more trophies than Harry Kane because he won the Quidditch Cup. Harry Kane's won nothing. But, maybe Harry Kane will now think, well, I do want to win trophies. maybe I can do it at Spurs. And I don't necessarily think Harry Kane's going to stay, but you know, Spurs have done all they can do to make themselves an attractive proposition. And also, maybe Spurs are already spending the Harry Kane money. Maybe they're saying to Conte, look, you're not going to have Harry Kane, but you're going to have £100 million to spend. How do you want to spend that? And to be honest with you, if I've never had Harry Kane and I'm coming in to manage Spurs and I've never had Harry Kane and Harry Kane's not part of the plans, but I've got £100 million, I'm probably saying, yeah, let him go. I'll work with what I've got. Because Harry Kane's a great player, but he's 28. And he might miss 3 months of the season. He might miss a month of the season. He's one player. I could replace Harry Kane with 3 or 4 players. So, you know, maybe that's the attraction for Conte. Bit of time, build something out. And I certainly think with Spurs, with Mourinho, with Kane, it was like, well, let's win something. I think when Kane goes, Spurs fans are going to be very realistic and patient. And patience is important. They're going to be realistic and patient to say, we're not really expecting top 4. Let's see what we can build over this season into the season after. And I think Spurs does become a 2-year plan. And I think that gives Conte the time and his director of football the time. So for me, it's a thumbs up. I think it's a thumbs up move for Spurs. Yeah, it's a good deal. Please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. I'm live later for England versus Austria watch along. The live chat's already open for that. So as the Euros build up starts on this channel, we'll be doing a watch along for that. And please do give us a follow on Instagram. Brand new account. We're very close to 10,000. So if you're on Instagram, please click the link in the video description and just give us a follow. Let's see if we can get up to 10,000 before the match tonight. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, smash a like, give us a follow on Instagram, and I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thumbs up, Spurs.